This segment may not appeal to many people out there who normally like the stuff I talk about. There will be some of you who will appreciate this, who will enjoy this, but this is really moving into a much more metaphysical, spiritual plane than I normally go into. I get a little bit more personal now with this thing I'm going to talk about now. All I would say to you is not to presume that this is all magical thinking and hocus pocus and silliness. Right, try not to shoot the messenger. Try to keep an open mind. If you can't believe it, think it makes no sense, that's fine. Let it just sit there, just listen, let it sit there. Try not to judge it. And you may discover down the road at some point, next Tuesday or 20 years from now, that there may be some validity to this. Whether it does or it doesn't matter. It's all food for thought. I digress when I say that food for thought. Have you thought about what your motivation is? You know, there's that old joke about with actors. What's my motivation? In order to let the actor know what the director tells the actor what to do, how to behave. His motivation will tell him how to behave in a certain circumstance, because if he wants to get to point Z from point A, well, why? Why would he want to do that with all these obstacles in his way? Well, you would need to be motivated. Well, what's my motivation to get from A to Z? Is it simply because I want more money? Is it because I want to visit my sick dad? You got to know what your motivation is. Well, in life, maybe we need to know our motivation too. Maybe a lot of us don't. Maybe that's the problem with how we spend our time, wisely or foolishly, how we indulge in bad habits repeatedly. Maybe we're not clear on what our motivation is. You know, the motivation, every day, I believe every day you should get up and ask yourself, what's my motivation today? What's my purpose? Why am I here? Is it just to make $1 so you can have a beer tonight? Okay, that's fine. If you're happy with that, then accept that and you know what your motivation is. As soon as you make your $1, you're done, case closed, you're going to have fun, that's great. But if your motivation is to do something more in some way, to either make more money, or discover a sustainable relationship, have children, find a career that's very satisfying, find a career or a path or a hobby that contributes and helps others, is of service to others, is of service to humanity, makes a difference on the planet. There's all sorts of things you might be motivated to do. Or you might not be motivated. You might be motivated not motivated, you might be motivated to watch TV. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's all you do, maybe, well, there's still nothing wrong with it, but maybe you might consider a little bit more balance. Maybe there might be a reason for more balance in your life. Purpose. What's my motivation? If you ask yourself every morning what your motivation is, for not just for the day, but for your life, for the next 5 years, where do you see yourself? This will help you to procrastinate less, to finish things, to not waste as much time. If you are motivated to get someplace, to do something bigger than yourself, then it's going to take some work and focus and discipline and motivation. So remind yourself, what's my motivation? If you don't have any motivation in life, if you think there's no purpose in life, then guess again. There is. There is meaning to life, and you need to find it for yourself. The answer is not to kill yourself. The answer is not to kill somebody else. The answer is to discover your purpose. And every day be motivated to move towards completion, achievement of that purpose. Right, but that's not actually what I started to talk about. I started to talk about that I was going to be discussing a more personal thing that other people might not be able to relate to. Maybe you could have related to the whole purpose thing I just did, but here's the thing. I am a student and teacher somewhat of A Course in Miracles. It's a spiritual self-help psychotherapy program. It has a text which explains the nuts and bolts, the thinking behind the course in miracles. You can take it very literally. It's a course that teaches you and I how to perform miracles. And first there's a text which explains the whole deal, how it all works, why miracles are possible, and why you and I can do them. And then there's a workbook of 365 lessons every day, a cognitive therapy workbook designed to change your mind. And the way they want you to change your mind is to see actually that everything you think is real is an illusion. And everything you don't think is real is actually real. So this body is an illusion. It's not real. We invented it. And the opposite is true. What's reality is that we're not a body, that we are consciousness, that we are spirit, that we are part of the oneness of the universe. But you would think that I am insane if I actually believed that we are not bodies and this is not real and this isn't really happening. This is all a massive collective hallucination. That would make me insane and everybody else sane. But the premise of this thought system, of the spiritual philosophy, is that the opposite is true. That everybody else is crazy and insane, except for those who understand that this is an illusion and isn't real. And the reality is we are not bodies. And there is no limitation. There is no lack. There is no disease. There is no suffering. There is no aging. There is no death. None of it. There is nothing to fear. All there is the oneness of the universe. The oneness is love, and love is all there is. And anything that is not of love, doesn't exist, isn't real, is an illusion. So when we come from a space of fear and anger and judgment, we are stuck in the illusion, in the collective hallucination, the collective nightmare. So, so the lesson I'm on today, I think it was number 91. I started around the first of the year, so I've had about 3 months worth of lessons, and the lesson today was miracles are seen in light. And the discussion is that the body's eyes do not see miracles. Okay. Well, how am I ever supposed to see a miracle then? How am I ever supposed to be in the light, so to speak, if the body's eyes don't see miracles? And I'm in a body. Well, the point is, I'm not a body. Okay, vision, true vision, has nothing to do with eyeballs in your sockets in your body connected to your brain. Okay, if we are not a body, if we are consciousness, then our vision, our sight, has nothing to do with our eyeballs. It has to do with the thoughts in our mind, our belief system. And basically the idea is that if you believe you are a body, then you will never see miracles, because the body is all about ego, identification. The body is all about grievances, judgments, not seeing the oneness in everybody, but seeing the differences in everyone, separating from everyone, being afraid of everyone, and then being defensive and paranoid and attacking everyone and feeling justified in doing so because we fear that they'll eventually attack us. So being preemptive about it, it makes total sense and makes them the bad guys and not us. It's a totally sick world. So it's a world of lack and limitation and scarcity and imbalance and chaos, and it's not the world that God created. That's the whole premise, that if you want to see the light, if you want to see miracles, you've got to actually, you recognize that the problem is our grievances. The problem is our judgments. When we forgive others and accept others and love others and put our grievances aside, we will discover that we are perfectly safe, that we are in the light, that we see the oneness all around us, that we are part of it, that there is nothing else. And there is a tremendous lightness of being, a tremendous joy. There is no need, there is no scarcity, there is no lack, there is no body, there is no limitation. Right. This basically could colloquially be described as heaven. So, what they also talk about in the Course of Miracles is you don't want to make decisions based upon your ego, what you think you want, what you think you need, what you think your mission is. You want to turn it over to basically what they call the Holy Spirit. In this case, the Holy Spirit is a voice for God that will talk to you and tell you the wisest and best thing to do. Okay, so when you and there's an expression in the Course in Miracles that says the Holy Spirit's voice is as quiet as your willingness to listen. So the whole point being, when you can get quiet and free of your ego and ask the Holy Spirit, like, what would you have me do? What would you have me say? Where would you have me go? And to whom? If you are quiet and you are calm and free of ego and free of fear, you will hear the voice for God, the Holy Spirit, and it will tell you what is the best thing to do. It will provide you with the wisdom that you have asked for and that you've already accepted, and now you can actually understand, appreciate, and implement. So for me, I thought to myself after this lesson about I am not a body, miracles can be seen in the light, but you can't be seen in the light with the body's eyes. You've got to forgive everyone. And I asked the Holy Spirit, I got quiet and I asked the Holy Spirit, well, what can I do? What can I do? And I heard what sounded like my own voice, really, but I mean, it was just really a quiet thought, but it came so fast that any thought of mine whatsoever, it came so fast and was so calm, and it said, what did it say? Open your heart. So I said, how can I see? Help me to see. It said, open your heart and you shall see. Open your heart and you shall see the miracles. In the light, you will see the light. You shall see. Open your heart. And that's it. It's that simple. Whether it was the Holy Spirit talking or my higher self talking or just what I've always known and taught to other people, is that when you open your heart, you put aside your grievances, you forgive and accept others despite how they're behaving, you rise above the battlefield. Right. The more you hold heart in your mind and share it with others, you will. Grievances aside, forgiveness embraced, love ye one another, you will see the light, you will be the light. The miracles are a natural extension and expression of who we are when we are not blocked by our fear, our judgment, our ego, our chaos and confusion. Right. Open your heart and you shall see. Lay aside your grievances. We lay aside our grievances, no matter how people are behaving, and we don't worry if people will think we are weak and foolish for doing so. We forgive others for our own peace of mind, for inner peace, and ultimately for world peace as well. One person at a time, one spirit at a time. See you next time.